Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. He will jock you, he will dock you, and trust me, he will not hesitate to clock you, my guy. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock Doc podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, Dr. LondonSmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as obeticholic acid and big old chompers, so I will try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future.
Yes.
Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Oh, Dr. London, so they let you out, huh? I mean, you're here for the recording. I just didn't think that the beach jail would... I thought they were going to hold you longer, I guess.
Well, no. For one thing, you know, whenever they took me in, I said, these cuffs can't hold me. It's partially...
Yeah, but they were holding you, right?
Yeah. Well, because...
You didn't break out of them, did you?
No, I'm still wearing... The thing... My advantage was...
You still have the cuffs on right now?
Yeah, well, the cuffs are made... It's an inner tube. Like, it's just very tight. So, my trick was...
Do you want to catch people up real quick on what we're talking about? Or do you want to explain your trick first?
Well, I think the setup will help for me explaining the trick.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is the summer, and Dr. London and I, of course, what do you do when June starts? We go to the beach. I mean, I don't know what you do, listener, because... You probably don't have a job or friends or the ability to swim or have seen the ocean.
And you're probably physically wounded.
If they saw the ocean, there's a good chance they would be scared. They would sort of just run away.
Yeah, well,
so
and attack.
This might not be for you. But for real beach bods like Dr. London and I, who love to go surf and love to go boogie board and love to play volleyball, this is Christmas to us.
Oh, yeah. Which makes Christmas really a tough time of year. I don't want to go into that, but like the juxtaposition really makes it that much worse at Christmas.
Well, also I'm broke. I've spent all my money on getting gifts during surf season. And that's sort of where a conflict arose. Mm-hmm. Dr. Lennon, you were expecting a gift.
Not just one, but yeah.
Yeah, from one of the... I mean, I gave you gifts, but from one of the fellow surfers, you were sort of insisting, no, this is like Christmas to me.
Yeah.
Where is your gift?
Well, it's just, if people don't respect your traditions, different holidays come up, we all try to post something for a holiday, even though we may not necessarily celebrate it ourselves. We honor the traditions of other cultures. And
you always say, if someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. That's usually what you say before you clock them.
Yeah, and that's the quote that I want to be in my memoir as well. But I won't respect the bones in their face, obviously. And so, yeah, I did clock him. And the first hit is allowed, by the way, in my belief system. So, like, no worries. Yeah. But
everything's cool after the first hit.
Yeah, but the second hit, I'm going to go ahead and admit right now, a little bit too far, okay? Because I distance through into the face that I punched. I mean, too far.
Oh yeah, to get a proper hit, you were too far away from him.
Yeah. So I fell over. They caught me and they put me in beach cuffs, which are an inner tube. That's the whatever figure 8 one. So they put that around a palm tree, and they say like, this is beach jail, don't you move. And so I guess I did some hard time, but I'm out now, and I'm finding a lot of...
Did they let you out, or did you escape?
Oh no, so I shimmied up the tree.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
So that's why you still have the inner tube on you.
Yeah, and some leaves.
So you've managed to escape.
Yeah.
Okay, that does make a lot of sense. So I mean, you're on the lam right now. Like we're talking to, Dr. Convict London.
Yeah, I guess you could say I escaped from this thing. I'm kind of I can tell you this. It's hard to find employment after serving time. it's tough to work. It's tough to get around without people discriminating against you. And I think it's
have you run into that in the 45 minutes since this happened?
Not verbally but it's in the eyes. People they aren't looking at me, but whenever I passed people, I could see it in their eyes as they're clearly very busy walking past me.
You're used to passing people on the street and thinking, oh, the way that person's looking at me, they want to hire me because I'm so smart.
Yeah.
But today you didn't see that weird glimmer.
No.
Oh, wow.
Without the spark in their eyes, it's that thing that kind
of... What's the point?
Gives you hope for humanity. And now, with me, it's not savior, but their prized piece that this doctor they so admired, with me in this condition of still inner tubed, still cuffed, it's changed people's perception. And so I guess right now I want to work on destigmatizing it.
Yeah. I did want to ask, did the guy that you hit, did he ever get up? Because by the time we had left, he had not gotten up. People were really focused on you for whatever reason.
No.
Well, I say for whatever reason, I mean, a celebrity getting arrested at the beach, there's going to be paparazzi, people taking pictures,
there's a lot of
gossip and TikToks and all that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I would have helped him at that point had I not been cuffed. Okay? I want to make that clear. I would have done something to help, but no one really went to help him.
Hold on.
Okay.
When you say done something to help, is it going to be rearrange some of his bones? Change the structure of his nose? Is that what you mean?
Okay. So this...
You're on the lam. You are a convict, Dr. London. You maybe want to watch what you say.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, you can talk to my attorney for any follow-up. That's the thing I'm supposed to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's DJ Dillon?
Yes.
Yeah, so DJ Dillon, when I said help him, did I mean rearrange the bones in his face?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That just clarifies it. Anyway, so that was our producer Cameron, and of course I was talking to Digital in the house.
Hello. It's me,
DJ Dillon.
and I got one question for you. What the fuck is going on? 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 What the fuck is going on?
To the juxtaposition.
If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face. If someone's not going to respect my traditions, then I'm not going to respect the bone structure of their face.
And later, Cameron tells me we can expect some special guests.
That's right, Dr. London.
Great. So, before we move on, though, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. We talked about how our listeners are scared of water, and as I was saying, probably wounded by now. They have a well-justified fear of the water. They are also generally going to be 40 to 55 years. That's the latest stats, right? Do you want to run the numbers real quick?
Yeah, let me pull up our
Are they wet
marketing
from the
demographic
beach?
numbers,
Yeah.
the Google Analytics.
Okay. Good.
Let's see. Okay, every single one of our listeners is between... Oh, it's shifted a little bit, Dr. London. Every one of our listeners is now between the ages of 41 and 2/3 and 56 and 1/7.
Okay, 41 2/3, 56 and 1/7. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope I'll be able to remember that, but it's because we have to be very
It
specific.
just shifted again. No, it just shifted again.
Okay.
Now it's 38 and 3/10
Okay.
and 51 and 2/10, which does divide down to 1/5. I don't know why it says 2/10, but
yeah, let's see.
What are you gonna do?
And
but that's our
still,
demographic. Those are our listeners.
They're still all male and illiterate. Is that holding consistently?
We do have now, I believe, 2 female. I mean, I say female. I'm saying it's so clinical. 2 women listeners, but they are just one of the guys. They love hanging out with the guys. They love sports. They're just super one of the dudes.
Cool.
Are they illiterate? Most of our listeners can now read the those little book series for kids, and it's like shapes, but they're like people sort of. They've got hands and they talk.
Are you talking about Clifford the Big Red Dog?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, he's got like hands and he can talk and he's like running around. Big Red Dog, huge. Yeah. That's what they're really good at reading now.
Okay. So they're really good at reading Clifford the Big Red Dog and describing how he looks. Okay. So that's our listener base.
They're not reading it, but they're they love looking at the pictures and sort of imagining what the story says.
So we're I feel like you're being a little bit forgiving for them. Like they're not.
This is what Google Analytics says.
Okay.
This is not my choice. This is what this is what the report says.
Okay. So anyway, so as these marketing demographics have changed, the nature of the feedback that we receive has also changed. So this week's feedback comes in the form of it looks like it's a sandwich with an Uncrustables box label taped to it. So I guess they're asking me to cut the crust off? Is that?
So one of our very special listeners sent in, I mean, we run into this every week now. It's either a commentary on you or it's a request for you to cut the crust off their sandwiches. Yeah. It's always one of those two things.
Yeah, which
I would say because this is Uncrustables. I think you said Uncrustables, right? This isn't Crustables, the famous brand that adds crust to.
It has a little squiggle with crayon through the un part, so I'm not sure what they mean. That could be a smudge. It could just be a smudge.
Yeah. But if it was Uncrustables, why would they want you to cut the crust off of it? The crust is already gone.
Yeah, it's
But these are Crustables.
I want to give full credit to our listeners for the intelligence they do have, but obviously
they've stumped us. They're smart, yeah. Dr. London. This is a riddle we can't solve.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe I'm hoping that our guests are just genius detectives, maybe, or that they, like Sherlock Holmes types, that they can really get to the bottom of this. But because I think we need help at this point.
Can I tell you how I'm going to interpret this sandwich? Yeah. So the way I'm going to interpret the sandwich is that we need to do better about cutting off the fat, so to speak, cutting off the crust, cutting out the lengthy, undesirable parts of the show. You know what I mean? Just like you would cut the crust off of a sandwich,
You think the intro part where I introduce myself, that's got to go?
I would say that's part of it. After that, when you're speaking to me, that's a good section. But all the parts that it's your voice instead of mine, I would say eliminate that. Save time.
Okay. No,
when we get to this section, the listener feedback, again, good section. I would say we could reduce time a lot if it was just me, as opposed to if we just sort of...
If you talked,
If we just cut out the London parts. Let me think about the next part.
Yeah.
Medical lessons gone. Never happening again. That's easy.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the guest portion...
You want to cut that out too, and then just have you talk for a while?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to cut the portion. I want the guest portion to still be there, but I don't want the guest, and I don't want you.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it was mostly just me, and it's just sort of spitballing, or a lot of times I'll have my poetry or a lot of my rap songs.
Yeah.
I'll be sort of debuting there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, rappers and poets, what's the difference?
Yeah, depends on the time of writing, like what you've done with it. Anyway, so your interpretation of this sandwich that was sent in to us is that we need to trim the fat. My interpretation is I need more help with this. Someone's got to come in and that or I think just maybe cut off the crust or anyway. Hopefully we'll figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, the listener's not going to hear any of this because, again, your voice is going to be eliminated from the podcast entirely. It's just going to be me responding.
You're going to fix this in post. Now for today's medical topic, Klinefelter Syndrome. Klinefelter Syndrome is a condition that occurs due to a patient having a 47XXY karyotype. So, most female patients are born as XX, and most males are born as XY. But in Klinefelter syndrome, there's that extra X with the XY, and it causes them to generally be taller, to also have androgen deficiency through insensitivity to FSH and LH, despite having high levels of FSH and LH. Their body has actually plenty of those hormones they need, but the part of the body that's supposed to absorb and retain those hormones, they can't absorb them properly. So it is as if FSH and LH aren't there at all. So, because the Y chromosome is present, these patients are going to be of the male sex. Klinefelter syndrome also makes these patients, these men, unable to produce testosterone or sperm, and to have erectile dysfunction and decreased muscle mass, along with decreased libido, decreased axillary, pubic, and body hair as well. And treatment for these patients is generally to replace the testosterone, to give them testosterone.
No comment. Nothing to say. Not going to touch it.
Yeah. Okay. You think I'm going to get canceled for this one too?
I just think in this day and age, even talking about what would you say, sperm? I think that's just crossing the line. It's icky. It's gross. Yeah, sure. It swims fast, and that's interesting.
Yes,
but like
you're just jealous from your beach bod hasn't matched the. Yeah, I see.
Oh, my beach.
You can't swim as fast as sperm.
And you think I'm jealous. Okay, I guess that would make sense if that were true, but it's not, because I can swim as fast as them, so why would I be jealous? I feel pity for them. They're not able to swim as fast as me.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, not touching it. You're going to get canceled for talking about sperm
No,
so much.
you're right. I think you're wrong, and maybe just sperm swims fast. But we can move on from there. If you want to just...
Yeah, I think that's the safest thing. Just move on.
All right, Cameron, you said that we have some guests today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. I believe we have... Well, let me count real quick. Do you have the abscicus?
The counter? Oh.
The abscicus?
Yeah, I have a few dozen of them because you keep losing them.
Ooh, that number means nothing to me because I don't have my abscicus in front of me. So if you could just hand me one real quick so I can count the number of guests.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you do the slide, and then you slide this one. Okay, we have two guests today, Dr. London.
Wow. Okay. Well, hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What was your name? Your names, rather.
Hello, I'm Bruce.
Okay.
Holy Healthcare Podcast. My name's Dick Grayson. I'm Bruce's ward.
Okay.
Holy healthcare indeed, and I should say my name is in fact in full Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
That's right.
That rings a bell.
Oh,
he's a billionaire playboy.
Yeah. One of these.
That's why I've heard about him.
Yeah, no, Bernie's talked about him.
Because I read TMZ. Bernie's talked about you quite a bit. What is Bernie? What are your thoughts on Bernie, Mr. Rich Playboy, sir?
Well, I have to say I think Bernie's a little misguided. You know, he doesn't understand what the 1% can do for the 99. And I do a lot. I do a lot. Not all of it I can talk about, but I do a lot.
What? You can't talk about? What do you mean? Like what? You have offshore accounts? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's not what I mean, but yeah.
You've got a tax guy. He handles the stuff. You don't even know what you own at this point.
Absolutely.
Well, some of the work of fixing the world must be done from the shadows.
I guess. What? Hey, Bruce. What is this guy's deal? He's sort of just piping in with like these sayings about coming from the shadows. Oh, yeah, he's your ward.
My parents were murdered by Tony Zuko in a plot to extort a circus. Tony Zuko is not a very smart criminal. Not a lot of money in the circus.
I guess, can you run me through what a ward is or does?
Yes.
Okay.
It happened when I was a child, and Bruce didn't want to fully adopt me, but became my guardian.
That's true, yeah.
You know, guard and ward come from the same word.
I didn't
in fact,
know that.
Lord means a loaf ward, a loaf ward, which became Lord. Holy etymology. It's amazing, isn't it?
And Bruce, is he always like this? And is this why you didn't adopt him?
He is always like this. He was even like this as a young child. I wasn't ready to have to parent somebody like this, but I was interested in becoming a lord. That sounded good.
So he did.
So wait, are you a knighted lord? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I am a knight in a sense, of course, but I am not. But no, I haven't been knighted by the queen. I'm just a lord in that my relationship to this boy is he is my ward and I am his lord.
And he has a huge manor and estate, and even a butler.
That's true.
Our pal Alfred.
That's right. That's right. And remember, you're not allowed to call him butler. You have to call him our pal.
Our pal.
Good correction.
But he's your employee, right?
Yeah, is that...
Like,
does he get paid?
Well, he's my butler, but he's Dick's pal.
He's our pal.
you've got like firing power over him, right? I mean, to be calling
Over
your
Alfred?
buddy and stuff. Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, but he also raised me from a child. So, you know, in a way, he's my lord and I'm his ward.
Oh.
Holy heartless, producer Cameron. Who would fire a friend?
I mean, I agree.
Well, you say that, Cameron. You would fire me in an instant if you could.
Yeah. Do I consider you a friend? I think we're really good. Like we're coworkers that get along really well.
Well, you know, honestly, that's more surprising to me. Thank you. So.
But I could fire a coworker I got along with really well in a second.
So I'm sorry, Bruce.
Yes.
What I wanted to ask you is, so you know that you can get the Lord title just by like buying a bit of property in Scotland, right? Like, maybe you didn't know that loophole, but that's kind of a big thing people do.
Holy workaround, Bruce. We gotta look into that.
Wow, I've recently learned about that, and it is true. Holy workaround indeed. But I will say that at the time that I adopted Dick, and by adopted I mean took him on as a ward, I did not adopt him. Don't twist my words.
Legally, no.
Don't twist my words, me. But I should say at that time the internet wasn't around, so for me to have purchased land in Scotland and become a lord would not have been possible. Besides which, my family does already have a bit of land in Scotland, so I didn't really need to buy it.
Okay, so you could have just had, and you just kind of wasted this whole raising up this whatever. Okay.
And I can't inherit any of it. I'm just a ward.
That's true. It'll all go to a future child I might have with a certain someone named... Well, I can't say her name.
Wait, what?
Yeah, do you want to reveal this person that you might have a child with on our podcast? That'd be awesome.
I can't say her name.
Exclusive.
Just secret.
I can't say her name. She'd be upset with me.
She would be. She would whip him good.
She sure would.
Yeah, I mean, just keep in mind, TMZ is going to be listening to this podcast. They're with
not always.
Having someone of your stature on
Holy
here.
gossip websites. They have their thumbs on the pulse of Jack Duck.
Yeah, I mean, I think having someone of this stature on the show, they're going to check it out to try to nail you. You know, they're trying to scoop up juicy gossip. So you don't want to give them things like, there's a mystery woman I'm trying to have a kid with.
Oh, no, I didn't say trying to.
And now I've spent an additional 90 seconds really focusing on it. TMZ is going to eat that up.
Oh, holy privacy.
Holy privacy indeed. We're in trouble, Dick. We're in trouble. I've worked my way into a mistaken word choice yet again.
Okay, what if we change topics, Bruce?
Oh, I like that idea. This is why it's good to have a ward. Now, have you two heard about this penguin on the loose?
Yes, the zoo.
Yes.
Yeah, there was, and I don't want to, it wasn't my fault. So the enclosure wasn't locked properly, and Cameron dared me, so I climbed over and like...
I dared you to do what? No. You're trying to blame something on me. I dared you to do what?
You dared me to go touch an egg, touch a penguin egg, and I said...
Yeah, that's it.
A penguin's
but
egg?
Just touch it.
So I was stuck but then I was stuck inside the enclosure. I had to get out, and then my mistake now, I did forget to lock the door on my way out. And so, yeah. So there are a lot of penguins on the loose.
Yeah. So it's not London's fault.
Bruce, Do you think that these two freaks might be in league with the penguin himself?
Dick, I haven't considered it until right now, but God, I'm glad I have a ward to think of these things.
We better stay frosty and look for clues.
Stay frosty, my friends.
It's not London's fault except for the part where he left the door open and let them all out.
Not my fault.
Of course not. Say, Doctor.
Yes.
We're not in the water, yet you seem to be wearing an inner tube. What's the deal with that?
Okay, how do I, but you're fancy people, right? You're billionaire. So
Sure, we have the occasional party at the mansion. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am similarly a high class person, and someone they were basically framing me, but whenever I
just say
punched
it's
them
fashion.
in the face,
Just say
it's fashion.
It's
so
fashion.
I acquired this fashion look whenever I punched someone, and then they put this inner tube, or they cuffed me.
Did you say you punched someone?
Well,
Did you say you punched someone?
Punch isn't.
I mean, excuse me.
Holy simple assault, Bruce.
Yeah, holy simple assault indeed.
Wow.
Dr. London got into a minor consensual scuffle.
It was consensual. Well, not for him, but yeah.
Oh, mutual combat. That's fine in this state.
Yeah. No, it was consensual on my part. Yeah. I was okay with it.
Yeah, Dr. London opted into it, and I believe it would. I don't know his opinion on it because again, he was not moving. He was still on the ground when I left.
His mouth didn't function.
Did you say you punched someone?
Yeah. What did your voice went all deep there? Is this sort of a late puberty thing? Like or are you trying voices or something? What's
Oh, no. Just sometimes I get agitated by crime.
Oh, see.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. So I want to clarify.
We're very sensitive to crime.
Oh, like an allergy.
You're one of those like political people on Twitter always bringing up crime stats and how we need to increase police presence.
No, not in that way. No.
Oh.
No, not in an unreasonable way. But crime does exist.
Okay, so Blue Lives Matter for you. No, Blue Lives Matter, and like that's great for you guys to have a position.
No. We never said Blue Lives Matter.
Well, I think that blue lives do matter. Black lives matter as well, especially, but blue lives matter. Blue lives matter too.
Bruce, remember, don't say all. We went over this. Don't say all.
I guess this is typical for the sort of billionaire class.
Yeah.
So you buddies with Elon?
No, Elon's never invited me over. I've invited him to Gotham Laboratories, Wayne Laboratories several times. But sometimes I forget if I am the city or the company,
I get that.
Plus, he is descended from blood money. His dad ran a slave mine in Africa. We're not cool with
Talking
that.
about Bruce Wayne, or are you talking about
Elon Musk?
Okay.
No.
Oh, no, but Bruce Wayne got all of his money ethically. Is that correct?
Bruce Wayne's father was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and we are all billionaires. Yes.
In the 40s, yes.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Okay, that makes sense.
That is true.
Okay, so
It's so good that I have a ward here to back me up with knowledge of my family. I really appreciate it.
If there's one thing he would have to do, I assume it's that as a ward, are you required to get an education?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
That
From
makes
this one.
sense. Yeah, that tracks.
And my pal Alfred was my best teacher.
Okay, Alfred. Okay, that's better. I just given how much knowledge seems to be shared.
Oh, you thought I was the teacher? No, I had so much else to do.
He runs Wayne Enterprises and the Thomas and Martha Wayne Foundation.
That's exactly right.
I guess I just didn't think it through that this guy that you call a friend, but he's just really, really, I mean, you kind of use him strictly for labor, it sounds like. That's what your relationship is. Is that about right? This Alfred guy?
Holy misunderstanding.
Holy misunderstanding indeed.
Misunderstanding? You said he's your butler, he's your teacher, he's your guide.
You sound like you're the kind of guy who thinks that friendship is emotional labor.
It is, and it costs money. And it's 1 minute per dollar.
Well, gosh.
You keep using the word holy. Is this a religious thing as well? I just want to. No one I know talks like that. Whether you say holy such and such, and I'm wondering is that a faith? I just don't hear anyone talk like that outside of the church.
Holy aggressive dialectical judgment.
Holy aggressive dialectical judgment indeed.
I've been really harsh on how I talk. Again, my parents were murdered by Tony Zuko, a mobster who wanted to extort the circus. I've had a tragic past to get here, and if I have a little bit of idiosyncrasy in my dialect, well, holy fucking forgive me.
Holy fucking forgive him indeed.
Okay. So it's childhood trauma that you're using as a reason for your speech pattern. Okay. No, I was wondering. And no, you got way.
What kind of doctor are you?
Excuse me.
This sort of trauma dumping does feel like emotional labor, so I am going to need at least some sort of compensation.
Listen, you wanted us to be on the show. I mean, I have all the money that anyone could need. So I'll toss you a couple bucks at the end if you really mean it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I gotta say, you invited us on this show, and I don't appreciate being charged for my guest appearances. I usually get paid for them.
Ooh, no, I mean, because typically when you're on a show, you're here to promote something, so it doesn't really make sense to pay someone for that, you know what I mean?
We're here to promote civic-minded goodness.
Holy civic-minded goodness indeed.
Yeah, we're back to, it sounds like a roundabout way to talk about crime stats again. I don't know how I feel about these guys.
No.
Look, we're not on Twitter talking about crime stats. We use Twitter the way it was intended, to troll women who post selfies.
Holy harlots, they're all over the place.
Indeed. Am I right about that, Dick?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'm sorry, just to go back over the whole conversation, DJ Dylan, if you wouldn't mind just censoring Richard here's name, it's going to be offensive to some of our listeners. I just want to get that. I know we're going to go back, and I only just thought of it, but we want to keep it clean. So that name's really not appropriate for...
Dr. Lennon, you have turned into such a little snowflake. You get triggered when you hear someone's name, and his name just happens to be a big old dick.
Well, that's a nickname. That's a nickname.
When you put big ol' in front...
And only I call it that.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. No, and I get it. It's sort of an ironic thing, right? He's like a small.
Because I was so short.
He's a small, pipsqueaky,
short.
like kind of guy, and you're like, oh yeah, he's a big old dick.
Well, you know, when you're a kid and you get bullied at school, you have to take the power back somehow. And I said, well, Dick, if anybody's bullying you at school, just remind him that your name is Big Old Dick.
That's right. And then he also helped me learn martial arts of every kind from every continent. I mean, he got me tutors to do it.
That's true.
And this was at homeschool?
Yes.
Yeah, I was also the bully, but that's not what's important.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's all in the past.
It's one of those things people don't consider when they're thinking about homeschooling their children, is that the parents and the family have to play all these roles. You got to have a lunch lady, you got to have a bully, you've got to have like the popular girl, but also like the loser girl, but also like...
Oh, holy smokes. Bruce, TMZ is going to clip this whole section out. DJ Dylan, censor it for us.
You can do the loser guy, and then he tries to get with the popular girl, but then he realizes that the loser girl was his best friend and in love all along. All of this has to happen with, you've got to use like cousins and stuff. It's really annoying.
I don't have any cousins, so it was up to me to play all these roles. And I will say my favorite part of Dick's...
It's a master of disguise.
A holy master of disguise indeed. Now, I know you didn't say holy there, but sometimes I got to add it because I want it. Now, my favorite part of every school day with Dick was when I got to be the lunch lady.
Oh, yeah. Just scooping big old meatballs onto a plate.
Yeah, just...
And I would say, holy meatballs.
And I would say, holy meatballs indeed.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then Alfred would cook up some more.
Alfred was the cook, I was the lunch lady, and then after lunch, Alfred was the recess monitor, and I was the bees that would sting him on the playground. And that's part of what teaching Dick to stand up for himself was all about. You know, you can't let a bee sting you, you can't let a bully you, you can't let the lunch lady throw the meatballs in your face.
And I didn't.
But except you did.
Well, only a little at first, then I learned every form of martial art. I'm trained with weapons and ninja stars.
To beat up your well, not your dad, obviously, because he won't adopt you, but the...
No, he's my guardian.
His lord.
But did you ever play the role of a bird that got in the gym and everyone's like, oh my God, there's a bird up there?
That was a tough day because it was very confusing for Dick because he kept saying, why is there a bat flying around? And I'm like, no, I'm a bird today. I'm a bird.
Right.
It was a confusing lesson.
Today? Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
I only did that once.
Yeah, right. And not a bat at all.
Indeed.
Wait. Hold on.
Holy, not a
Hold
bat.
on.
Bat. What?
Why would he have assumed bat
No reason.
first? Like that you were a bat instead of a bird.
What are you talking about?
That-
You sound crazy, Doctor.
Do you have a lot of...
Holy mental health crisis.
Holy mental health crisis indeed.
Dr. Lund, can I talk to you in private real quick?
Yeah,
Just real quick. I'm just going to talk to you guys, and I'm going to talk to Dr. Lund in private. Can y'all just play games on my phone here? You can borrow my phone real quick.
All right.
Ooh, okay.
Just any game you want. Okay.
Sims 4 on the phone?
Holy Angry Birds indeed.
Dr. London, he assumed he was a bat. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
yeah, I mean... Do you think... These guys seem really smart.
Vampire.
Oh, okay. Well, I was on a totally different track.
No.
I was thinking maybe they could figure out my Uncrustables situation.
Oh, I do think they can do that.
Okay. You think... And
But
so,
I think
what was your thing?
Vampire, Dr.
Okay.
London. Vampire.
Well, they
Like
are
Dracula.
both pale.
Nosferatu. Edward. Yeah, they're both very pale.
Yeah.
And why else would you assume that someone would be a bat?
Yeah, okay. And yeah, I guess that is just about every clue added up. Yeah. And also vampires are billionaires.
Vampires are usually pretty rich. They own castles.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Dr. London, vampires also drain the blood of their victims.
Is that a myth or is that real?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let-
So
Should we ask them?
Yeah.
We got to do it in a
Let's
roundabout
ask
way
them.
because
Let's just ask
if
them.
we make them, if it is true and we make them mad, they will try to get at least like 1 pint of our
Look-
blood, and I hate needles.
okay. Well, just I think I gotta wait. I think I gotta weigh in. Okay. Oh, hey.
Oh,
All right.
Hey,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead and take the phone back, Cameron. Cameron thinks that you must be good at phlebotomy. Bloodletting of some kind, due to your love for, like, I don't want to say vampire because I don't think that's
Do you
a
think I
modern,
love
appropriate
vampires?
PC term.
What do you like? Do you like garlic? What's your take on garlic?
I mean, I've never been a huge fan. I prefer ginger as a flavor.
Alfred loves to
That's-
use
that's-
garlic. He puts it in everything. It's a little bit much.
That's true too. I always ask
Trying
him
to build
to
up a tolerance.
tone
Okay,
it
so now we're
down.
just sort of shitting on his cooking ability. I mean, I really feel for this guy. I don't know why. But I mean, okay, Bruce,
Yeah.
Bruce. What about the daytime? Do you like hanging out at the sun, going to the beach, or do you mostly hang out at
I mean,
night?
I suppose I've been called a night owl, but I also make sure to be seen during the day.
Make sure to be seen. Yeah, I guess I like to have alibis too.
Out and about.
No, I wouldn't call it an. I just mean as a person, a high society, you have to be seen and see. You know, you have to interact with the other rich folk.
He's a playboy. You have to play.
That's right.
We are exactly on the same page here, man. When you're this wealthy, you have to be seen because things are gonna happen, and it's gonna look really bad if you're not seen at certain times and places. So I get you.
What, Dr. Lunder? What are you talking about?
I was just agreeing with you. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were implying that you were involved in crime.
Oh no, but I will say, well, we're working on destigmatizing crime now. So there are a lot of ex-cons who are looking for work. So we're really, actually that's
Dr. Lund. Since Dr. London's altercation, he has had difficulty finding work in the
gosh.
45 minutes or so in between the incident and coming to the podcast. And so it's really sort of, put this burden on him of we've got to start treating these ex-convicts better.
Oh, bird in.
not a bird. Okay,
Not a bird, not a penguin,
Where?
No penguin
or a bat.
No bat. This sounds like a future I can get along with. But I gotta say, I believe all criminals should be locked up in Arkham Asylum. Never killed,
Never killed.
but locked up for good.
And never given enough treatment. But just put away.
That's right.
Does it count as killing if you're fighting someone really close to a ledge and then they fall off? Because for some reason that seems to be like an okay thing in various movies and things with that sort of morality level. That just sort of shoving someone off of something and then they die, it doesn't really count as murder.
Yeah.
Or you try to catch them a little. You might catch their tie or something as they're falling off, and then that something slips and then they still
Well,
fall.
I think as long as you try to catch them, you've done your part,
Especially if you shoot a grappling hook around their ankle or something.
Yeah, if you can grappling hook around their ankle and hoist them up, then you've done what you can.
Yeah.
well, who carries a grappling hook?
Right.
Nobody.
Nobody would do that.
Exactly. But also, have the care to fight away from the ledge. I mean, it's sort of neglect at a certain level to be fighting so close to
It's
the
not
ledge.
our fault if Joker hides in a belfry and makes jokes about it. I mean,
The Joker? You're not talking about Dave Chappelle, are you?
Yeah, it's not our fault that Dave Chappelle works in a belfry. Okay, we have nothing to do with that. And if he falls from that belfry, I don't think you're going to find that Bruce Wayne was there or Dick Grayson.
we did tell Mitzi not to build a belfry room at the store, but she didn't listen.
That's true. She insisted the Comedy Store has to have a belfry.
She said it was freer that way. We didn't understand.
Was anyone else a little pissed that they gave the Joker, Netflix gave the Joker $100 million for stand-up specials, even though he was sort of pushing hate and just sort of discriminatory language and all this stuff?
Is this why you guys don't like him?
Yep.
That's a part of it, absolutely. I mean, the guy's been pushing hate his whole career, but for a while it was in a fun way, and then it became in an awful way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That's the Joker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy radicalization. That's the way it always goes.
Holy radicalization indeed.
You think he should be locked up for this? You're very pro-prison. You're when you
Lock
hear
him
prison
up. Lock him
abolition,
up.
yeah, you're not.
I don't believe in prisons. I believe in Arkham Asylum.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
every criminal should be
Where they get mental
treated
health
for their
treatment.
mental illness, only to the point
But
where
never
they break
cured.
out
So
and
the prison system
again.
is screwed
Is-
up,
is-
but the asylum system is perfect.
It's really strong.
Perfectly fine.
Exactly. And I do believe that the Joker should be taken from the belfry at the Comedy Store and put in Arkham Asylum.
And this is a good asylum. They're getting the help they need, and they're,
They
to
should be.
move.
Although, every once in a while we hear reports of the things being dark and scary in there. But for the most part, we expect that only one doctor in every once in a while will turn evil, like Harley Quinn.
Right. Or Dr. Arkham. Or Dr. Hugo Strange.
Oh, right. Okay, so 3.
Okay.
3.
With a doctor shortage,
Dr. Shortage, he's here.
oh no, is that another evil doctor? How many of these doctors are evil?
We've had to deal with a lot of evil doctors where we live here in Gotham.
As people who are civic-minded and help fund the system, not personally.
Right. No, of course, not personally, but just
Right.
in terms of, trying to lock him up, as you say. Or her.
Right.
The doctor could be a woman.
Or them.
Or them.
yeah. No, it's
Oh, is this that riddle? I'm really good at that riddle.
is that what this is? Okay, no. I got. Cameron, we can get this. We can get this one. Oh, this is why you came on the podcast, right?
Yeah, we just wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah, and is the doctor
okay.
a man or a woman? Is that what the question is?
Okay, here's the question. The Joker goes into Arkham Asylum, comes out the other side saying, "I'm in love," but with a doctor. But the Joker is not in love with a man. How is this possible?
Well, it rules out.
Okay, Dr. London.
Okay,
if
well,
you just...
It's not if you
Yeah,
listen to the
riddle
podcast
yourselves
in
that.
there.
Is it you?
I
Dr.
don't
London, or
think it's me because he might not think I'm a man. I guess, and I get that
You've
my
got
voice
the longer hair now,
and
yeah.
my voice can be effeminate. Yeah, so I'm
Well, and you're stacked. We've talked about that on a previous episode. You are kind of stacked.
yeah, there is that. So I guess the riddle is Dave Chappelle went into this asylum and came out in love with me.
In love with you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's,
Is that the answer?
how is that a riddle? Okay.
Yeah. How did you get that? I'm
that
really
sounds
impressed.
almost to me it sounded just like a statement. Am I that good of a detective? Wow.
Honestly, we're just as good at riddles as that. Have you heard of this Riddler guy who's been in newspapers and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yes.
They call him. I think they call him Will Shorts. He does the New York Times crossword puzzle. Dude is he sucks.
Oh, yeah. I've read some of his riddles. Yeah.
Dude is insane.
Yeah. They're not as hard as Gotham has a Riddler that makes them much more difficult
That
riddle. I'll
dude
tell
has
you
a
that.
screw loose. I think he might end up doing something dangerous, this Will Shorts guy.
Well, you see, he hasn't blown up a school bus yet, so he's still second place.
Like, charge for Wordle or what?
I mean,
is he really going to charge for Wordle?
Oh, Bruce, calm down, Bruce. Sit down.
Sorry. I'm allergic to crime. I get worked up.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I've been dealing with me and this inner tube wrapped around me the whole time.
Oh, that's how. Wait, I forgot. Did we ever actually find out why you have an inner tube around you?
Yeah, no, I was cuffed at the beach, and
you said you got in a punch fight.
Yeah. So I guess just to recap here for any listeners who also zoned out here, I got into a beach fight and I was cuffed into a figure 8 inner tube. The other half of that inner tube being around a palm tree. I shimmied my way up and escaped back here and haven't been able to find employment in the 45 minutes since.
Since leaving there and coming to the podcast, that's right. Holy rigged system.
The fight was over this person not giving Dr. London a gift, even though summertime is basically Christmas for Dr. London because he loves surfing and stuff so much. And so he does sort of expect gifts.
Culturally, I was hurt and it felt inappropriate.
Well, people have to respect other people's cultures. That's
of course.
I believe the line Dr. London said, it was something like, if you're not going to respect my culture, I'm not going to respect the bone structure of your face. Is that the line before you threw the punch? Yeah.
It was close to that at least. Yeah.
Holy hardcore.
So, Dr. London was justified because he didn't get a gift or anything.
You were the star of the TV show Justified?
Almost, man. I was so close. I was up for the role, but who was someone?
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, that's it. Timothy Olyphant. He beat me out of it, and like it was neck and neck though. They said like I don't, look or appear anywhere near what they want.
That show makes me so mad because people on both sides are just committing crimes left and right. Police, criminal, everyone's committing crimes unjustified.
And that doesn't happen where you're from?
When it happens where I'm from, I deal with it. Excuse me. By funding politicians that fight against abnormalities and illegalities.
Programs, charity, philanthropy.
Okay.
Well, also through prevention, through providing comfort and addressing material conditions. We don't just say #vote. We do something about it.
Unlike these Democrats.
Okay. Okay.
Holy sleepy Biden. He was doing nothing in there.
It does sound like the practical thing you're doing is giving a bunch of money to politicians. That's what you said?
And people through the Thomas and Martha Wayne Foundation.
Right, but filtered through a charity that's going to have people working for it and taking money off the top.
No, I never take any money off the top. I don't have to. I'm putting the money in.
No.
What? Where does it come from?
Right. It comes from the Wayne Enterprises.
He's putting the money in, but if it's a fund, isn't there usually some sort of overhead involved? You're saying there's no overhead?
Very little overhead. Wayne Enterprises makes all the weapons and stuff that the Army uses, and then we take that money to give to people who are affected by the Army. Oh my God, wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Holy Lord of War starring Nick Cage.
Dick, are we funding the wars that we're then cleaning up?
Great Scott, Batman, I think we might be.
Oh God.
Bruce.
Did he say Richard?
Did you hear that?
No.
Okay.
We said our names.
He said Richard again.
I think we might be the criminals, Dick.
I think we finally looked in a mirror and I don't like what we're seeing, Bruce.
Holy mirrors.
Holy mirrors, indeed.
Oh no. Hey, since you had mentioned something about cleaning up crime in the streets, or you love when people do that, support the cops or whatever.
Yes. Although maybe we stop for a while, I don't know.
And that pal who likes to do all your work for you and you can't say servant or whatever.
Alfred, our pal.
Yeah.
My butler / father.
He gets paid well and has like time to himself outside of the manor, right? I just want to check in on him a little.
You want to check in with him?
That's a good idea, Bruce. Why don't we get Alfred in here?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Hey, Alfred.
Hello, I'm Alfred.
Hey, Hey,
Alfred.
Alfred. So
You
you're
wanted to
they were
talk to
talking
me?
a lot about you. Yeah, they were saying a lot of really positive things about you, but
Hey, Alfred, my pal.
Hello, big old.
So once again, just Richard. Richard's good.
we just wanted to ask,
I don't understand.
do you feel more like a friend to these guys or an employee?
Oh, well, you know, I've been raising Bruce since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And the same is true for big old Dick. Could call me
So
a
like a
nanny.
nanny.
But I also spent time teaching them how to fight and teaching them how to be good idealist
No
adults.
pair.
So I would
Yeah.
say, for me, I feel more like a father figure and a grandfather figure than anything else.
And you feel like you get paid fairly for that role?
I live in a mansion, baby. I did well by myself.
Subsidized. How much do you pay rent in the mansion?
Well, they do charge me just a little bit, you know, just $4,000 or so a month.
Oh, Alfred.
That's pretty good for this market,
What
honestly.
percentage of that is your salary?
He has 7 bedrooms.
I do have 7 bedrooms to myself. That's true.
Right, but
Paying-
is all your salary going to rent?
Well, no, my salary is $5,000 a month, so I do have to, of course, I
So
do
you're
have to buy the meat for the meatballs, so that goes, and with the amount
for the
of
lunch lady shtick, you're
But
still
they're
doing
delicious
it.
meatballs.
You're still doing it, even though no one's being homeschooled anymore.
Old habits die hard, yeah.
with the amount of bowls that Master Wayne and Master Grayson eat, I do, yeah, it's about $1,000 a month. So I guess in a way, I'm not really making a profit here, but I am put up in this mansion and I get to raise my boys. So
Thanks, Alfred.
What about utilities? Do y'all split utilities?
Like evenly, or at the end of the month, do you say like, oh, I use
Internet is separate.
internet is separate.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, and you know, big old Dick is a little boy. He doesn't have to chip in, so it is 50-50 between me and Bruce.
That's
How
right.
old are you, Richard?
Big old Dick, how old are you? I guess that I haven't.
37.
37. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah, now, but he wasn't when we made the rules.
It's been 30 years since that day that Tony Zuko murdered my parents to extort a circus.
Okay, you're doing the trauma
Okay.
dumping again.
Yeah, I get that seems to be a habit with this family. Okay. Do you want to
Oh, my parents died. My parents were murdered.
let's bring it up in conversation as if that's normal to do, as if everyone's comfortable with that. We're just trying to have a medical podcast.
You don't want to hear about the things I witnessed in World War II, so.
Agreed. You want to bring
I
back
don't.
Bruce?
Sure. Bruce, you need me out there?
Alfred fought the Nazis.
Yeah, all of them. Okay, I'll be back.
While he's getting Bruce, let me explain what the chore wheel is, what Dr. London mentioned earlier.
I'm already back, but go ahead.
Dr. London and I have unfortunately been neglecting all of our chores, everything on our to-do list, everything that we need.
Holy housekeeping. What a problem.
And so we put it all on this big old wheel. And every week we spin it, and whatever it lands on, that is the chore. That is the task that we have to do. Now, I mean, either of y'all or both of y'all can do this, but we'd love for one of y'all to spin that chore wheel for us. You see the big wheel behind us? You can...
Okay, and can you just describe what is a chore?
Okay, that's because see, Alfred usually does all of this
Oh,
for them.
That's true, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
You don't really do
So this
cleaning,
is-
neither of
Maybe
y'all.
we shouldn't have sent Alfred away so fast.
No, hold on, I'll be right back. What? You needed me? I thought I won't be back, but here I am.
Yeah, we kind of have a task for you. They don't want to spin the chore wheel themselves. They said you kind of handle stuff like that. So
I just can't comprehend it.
yeah, if you could just spin that chore wheel, that would be
Yeah,
great
I-
for us.
They said you'd be better
Yeah,
at
well,
Yeah. They said, "Oh, I just mess it up."
I do operate on a chore wheel here in the mansion. I spin it and it always comes up me. All right.
Oh, wow, that's sad.
Let me go ahead and give it a spin. That. Oh,
Oh, don't fall. Oh, gosh, he's so
Oh.
frail.
Oh.
Did you guys make him clean up after you?
I think I broke my hip.
Oh, wow, he didn't even fall or anything. He just sort of stood up and then sat back down and he broke his hip.
Why don't you go to the medical bay in the basement?
Yeah.
medical bay in the basement. Is that you guys have,
After. Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed you guys have any sort of health care given the
Oh
conditions.
yeah.
he's
No,
living
I have the
course.
best
here.
health care. It's of our own design. Yeah.
It's subsidized. It's great.
I do have to pay a couple $1,000s for it, but just a month. So,
Are you working off your debts?
excuse me, I'm not in debt. I never have been, never will be.
It just the addition I'm doing in my head now is it sounds like you might be
Well,
losing money per month.
I do. My income is $5,000 per month, and I pay. Okay, so rent is $4,000, meat is $1,000.
And then utilities in a seven room mansion.
Don't forget gasoline and jet fuel.
Yeah, my part of the utilities, which include gasoline, jet fuel, batarangs, and electricity.
As a collector's item.
Yes, we have a collection of batarangs in the basement.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my portion of the electricity, of all that, the utilities, I pay half, so it is roughly $10,000 a month.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then I do, like Master Grayson said earlier, the internet is separate, and I do pay that, so that's another $175.
Oh, wow. You've got like a really good plan, huh?
I am kind of in the red every month a bit, yeah.
It is 10 gigabit Wayne fiber. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You don't get a discount or anything, even though it sounds like...
Well, I do most of the Googling in the house, so it's important for me to have that fast internet.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, who is the Riddler? Where is the Joker now?
Yeah, I would just think with Wayne...
Yeah, where's
with
Dave Chappelle?
a Wayne fiber, you would have... Just given that you live in the Wayne mansion... You would get a discount or something, but it sounds like no. You pay full price.
Well, his name isn't Wayne.
Well, Bruce uses the coupon. It is one coupon per residence, and it's in Wayne's name.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That is unfortunate.
And since he's not the one doing,
But I did spin that wheel for you, though.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So what is this chore, so called?
Yeah. Cameron, you want to read it off?
Yeah, I can't believe that we have to do this, but we have to. Oh, we've got to do movie reviews.
Oh, I've got to get down to the med bay. My hip real hurts. I'll be back. Oh no, I won't be back.
Bye, pal.
I mean, he might be.
Bring your card.
Last time he said I won't be back, and then he came back.
Last time he didn't have his healthcare card when he went down there. It was a big mess. Bruce, you're back, my lord.
I made sure he had his healthcare card.
Oh, phew! Thank goodness.
Does he has to pay for his benefits too?
Well, yeah. We don't do handouts in Gotham.
He has the same disease as Mr. Freeze's wife. It's not cheap to treat.
That's true.
No, I understand. But unfortunately, the chore we have to do is it's movie reviews. We haven't done this in a long time, Dr. London. We have to review the latest horror movie that everyone in the world has been talking about. I know everyone's sick of hearing about it. Chonkle's Revenge. Which I'm sure everyone's seen it already, right? It's everywhere. It made $1 billion in the first second.
Yeah. Chonkle's Revenge. I'm gonna say one thing. I thought it was too dark.
Yeah, you couldn't see a damn thing.
I couldn't see. I generally like the dark, but I found I had a hard time seeing in that movie.
Yeah, which I liked. Okay, here's the part I did like about that though. Normally you go to a 3D movie, you get the 3D glasses. I did like that we got to wear night vision goggles for this.
Yeah.
One. That was like a pretty neat kind of perk. You don't see that with a lot of movies. Yeah.
I'll be honest. Do you put your night vision goggles back in the thing when you leave the theater, or do you sneak them home?
That's stealing. That's a crime.
I sneak them home. I like to see around.
I sneak them home, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give them back. Those are mine.
So from my review of the movie, I'm gonna so my focus was a little bit more on the beginning. I didn't like, as I said, it was the lighting was an issue for me to some extent. But I thought it was brave of them, by the way, to do it that way. But still didn't care for it. I liked that the beach was made I read this before I saw it, so kind of spoiler, but the beach wasn't made of sand. It was made of little rubber balls that they had taken the time to produce for the movie. It was like sort of like a Lord of the Rings thing where they put in so many extra hours to get these little details done behind the scenes.
That's what that was. I just thought they were weird bubbly sands.
Honestly, yeah, I would have just thought sand because it really that's about what it looked like, and a lot of people complained that maybe this was unnecessary, but I thought it really helped with how they walked a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, when you could see, the gait was tremendous. You don't see a gait like that from many walker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was that's when I fell asleep in the movie. So that's.
I will say,
yes.
I had to give it a thumbs down because I was offended by all the pink washing. It's a film that claims to be about gay rights, but it was directed by Mitt Romney. Ridiculous.
I have to agree.
Yeah, I thought that was a huge issue too. But he's got an eye. I will say that.
I mean, we don't have to be so down. Mitt Romney wasn't great at that, but like, remember, this is only his 6th time directing. Okay, he's still working on it.
That's true. You got to give people a chance. Yeah, but I did find that having all of the camera angles include a weird cloud shaped like Joseph Smith was a little much.
And having the monster killed by the Uum and Thummim was a bit of a deus ex machina for me.
I got to agree.
They're seeing stones, not weapons.
That's what I read about in the great book. But for me, I just found it odd that in a movie, characters will all have different names. But in this case, all of the heroes' team, all 5 of them were named Brigham Young.
Yeah. This was
the very
movie
confusing
for me, and I only made it so far, and I don't know how many protagonists there were, but as far as I made it in,
17.
Yeah, so I was 16 in then for the first beach scene before I fell asleep.
Right.
I finally was able to follow a movie because they named all these protagonists the same thing.
I guess if that made it easier for you, yeah. Cameron, did you have a take?
I think Romney's cinematography, because he handled a lot of the cinematography too. I thought that was really inspired, but everything else was kind of. I was on my phone a lot actually for the rest of it, so I'm not exactly sure. And for the cinematography on what was on my phone, so I'll give it 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down.
We have this chore wheel that does need to be destroyed. I don't know if any of you are like kind of physically able.
Okay. It's just shattered.
Holy hand power.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Bruce.
What?
Look in the sky over there. Do you see what I see?
Oh my God. I do, Dick. I do. There's a signal in the sky. We've got to go.
Okay. Well, just before you go, could you real quick? I don't know if you've like obviously you're a billionaire, so I don't know if you like have any. I don't think you need to plug yourself. Is there anyone you're a fan of? Either of you that you'd like to plug?
Oh, sure, yeah. When I'm not busy passing legislation and running my foundation,
lobbying, right?
Right. I mean, I'm not an actual
right.
senator or anything, but yeah, lobbying. That's the term. Or running my foundation. I do like to watch the stuff that this guy at Ezra Partier on Instagram, at Ezra Partier on TikTok and Twitter's making, like the Daily Misinformer and Fever Comedy and Public Breakup sketch comedy. It's all great stuff. He has a new podcast that people who like character podcasts of some kind would probably like a lot, called The Message, at The Message PCast on all the things, if you want to hear a bunch of crazy people try to run a church.
Actual holy podcast.
I don't know if our listeners are going to like character-based shows, though. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward, interview show.
That's fair. Yeah, that
we
makes
see ourselves
sense.
as sort of a Mark Maron type, of the medical world.
Yeah, I just see us as just straight up lecture, recorded lecture. That's
well, I've been a long time
most
listener and
stuff
have applied a
as
lot
me.
of the medical lessons that, like drinking koala cola and such.
Oh, that's really good for your health.
I've heard.
Yeah, it does taste just like Down Under as well. Richard,
Yes.
is there anything you'd like to plug?
I like to keep tabs on rival billionaires, so I watch a competing billionaires network, twitch.tv/WizWorldLive. It's a wizard talk show every Friday at 8 Pacific. And since the last time that you heard that thing get plugged on this show, they now have merch. WizWorldLive.com/shop. Yes, and they're on Instagram, Twitter, and they'll be live and in person at the Shasta Renaissance and Fantasy Fair in Anderson, California, the last weekend of May, and at Coronaburg Renaissance Fair in Corona the last weekend of June. If you're in either upper North Cal or lower SoCal, go and check out those fairs.
Yeah, I've actually seen WizWorld live. I mean, Dr. London, I believe there was a couple. I mean, you called them hunks. I just thought they were cuties on the show.
Yeah, the newt.
They were
lizard
playing
people?
slimy lizard
Yeah.
folk, but in a way that was so charming.
I just thought they were cuties. We got in an argument.
Yeah.
You said no, they're hunks.
I said they're hunks. Well, a lot of people are down on lizard people, but I think it's actually like really, it's not a bad thing. I think they can actually be very hunky. All right. Well, thank you so much to our guests today. We learned a lot about, I guess, how Blue Lives Matter and how the asylum system's really working.
That's the message we want to leave you with. Yeah.
Yeah, incarcerate more people because it is working.
Billionaires are great. Bernie's wrong on that point.
Lobbying isn't bribery.
Yep.
They're two separate things.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
And
They're
hey,
totally different.
And those dang Democrats.
And if you've recently run into trouble with beach law, I think that there should be employment for you, and that that we shouldn't have such a stigma against these
People trapped in inner tubes.
Anyway, so thank you so much for listening. My name is Dr. LennonSmith.com, and that's our thank you to our producer Cameron as well, and thank you to Digital in the house.
Everyone's committing crimes.
And that doesn't happen where you're from?
When it happens where I'm from, I deal with it. I deal with it. I deal with it. I deal with it.
Holy hardcore. DJ Dylan, cook up some more.
And goodbye.
See ya.